everyone, welcome back to my channel. As you can see, my hair is really short now. I'm just getting used to it, but yeah, I have short hair now. So today I'm going to be talking about why I chose UCLA over Cal. No shade at Cal, some of my best friends go there. And yeah, I think that right around now, it's like early May, is the time that people are making their college decisions. I know that the high school deadline is May 1st, but for transfers, it's June 1st. So I know that around this time I was kind of, making my decision, and for me it was kind of obvious that I was going to go to UCLA, but Berkeley did try to get me. They really did. Basically, I remember having this decision last year, so hopefully I can help out some of you guys who are currently making this decision. And yeah, the first reason that I chose UCLA, and like why I say that it was kind of an obvious decision for me, is because UCLA was my dream school. I love LA, so going to LA for day trips when I was in community college, I loved exploring the city. I just really love Southern California in general. I was raised here, so I feel more at home in this area. A lot of people don't feel that way though. A lot of my friends do prefer NorCal. For me personally, I enjoy NorCal, but I don't see myself living there. So yeah, that was like a huge reason. I just love LA. Another reason is the sports at the school. So Berkeley is like pretty big on sports too. I mean, they have a great football program and whatever, but I mean, like UCLA sports, that's top notch. Like, we have the most national championships. I think we're tied with Stanford, something like that. But yeah, like UCLA sports are, untouched. We're D1 everything. And another huge reason for why you should choose your school is the rigorous academics. So UCLA is also an extremely competitive school. We're ranked #1 now. We're ranked #1 public university in the world. So I actually don't really care that much about rankings. I think they're dumb. Like, who is even making these rankings? I don't know. Yeah, UCLA is still top ranked. I'm just gonna say that Berkeley and UCLA are tied for academics and overall as a school. So, I'm not gonna say one is better than the other because those rankings are dumb. So yeah, I'm just gonna say they're tied. And another reason is the beautiful campus of UCLA. So I loved the UCLA campus. Yeah, so I prefer the UCLA campus to Berkeley's just because I really like when a school is enclosed. I like when it's like an obvious campus. So for Berkeley's, it kind of blends into the town. I mean, it's still obviously like a campus, but there are some buildings that you like actually have to go into the town for. And just the UCLA campus, like, I just love its theme, like the red brick, and the campus is hilly. I mean, Berkeley's campus is kind of hilly too, but whatever, yeah. Just loved the campus of UCLA. And the biggest reason for why it was my dream school is I could imagine myself being there, and that's a huge thing. If you can actually imagine yourself when you step onto the campus that you could go to that school, like you see yourself walking through the campus to your classes, like if you can actually imagine that in your head, I think that's how you know that you are meant to go there and that's a good school for you. Which is why a lot of people say that it's important to visit the school that you want to go to, because you could love a school like UCLA and think it's your dream school and then go there and not imagine yourself being a student there at all. And same thing, you could not think you are supposed to go somewhere and then visit it and then actually imagine yourself being there. So like for me in high school, I thought that USC was actually the perfect school for me. And when I visited it, I was like, when I stood there on the campus, I was like, wow, I don't like this place. I don't like the area. I can't imagine myself going here. So I had that feeling when I was at UCLA though. Like, it wasn't like, it's kind of a weird feeling to describe because you don't particularly, it's not like a message is sent to your head like you belong here, but it was just different. Like, I could see myself being there and it felt comfortable, I think is the biggest feeling that I had. Those are all the reasons for why UCLA was my dream school. Those are kind of all the components that I weighted together for why it was my dream school. The biggest reason that I chose UCLA was because it was my dream school. Even if it didn't have a good program in what I was studying, I think I would still have chosen it just because I could imagine myself being there. And for me, I kind of find it more important to go to a school where you're comfortable, rather than go to a school just because its program is the best. Because you can still succeed even if you didn't go to the best program. And honestly, sometimes it's even better that you don't because it's not as competitive. UCLA's psychology program is about second or third in the country. That's a huge reason for which school you should choose. It kind of depends on your major. I weighted it larger on the school rather than the actual program, but it worked out in my favor because the UCLA psych program is better. Yeah, like, let's say you think you really want to go to UCLA, but the program is better at Berkeley. I would probably visit both and see what school you like more, and try to talk to people who are studying what you're going to study, because maybe they'll have some insight as to how hard it is, how a program actually is, because once again, rankings don't really mean that much. Another reason, a great thing about UCLA also is that it has a great transition program, I guess you would call it. They have like great resources for transfers. So they just built a transfer center just this year. When I was transferring, it opened. And that's a great resource. You can sit there, it's a great lounge area. They have a bunch of flyers and papers that you can pick up there for stuff you can get involved in. They also have a lot of activities. So like in the first week that I was at UCLA, there were a lot of transfer events and you basically got to meet a lot of people in that. And also I lived in the transfer dorm, so there's actually a transfer dorm at UCLA. And that was really great for building a community and living with people who are also transfers, because when you live on campus, you know, you could just live with like freshmen and sophomores, but living with actual transfers was really great because you got to be around people who have that similar background as you, and you're all trying to transition into this four-year university as juniors. So that was really, really great to have as a resource. So definitely UCLA's transfer program is the best out of all of the UCs. So that is a huge reason that I think you guys should consider if you're also trying to make this decision for UCLA or Cal. UCLA also guarantees you at least 1 year of housing. Cal does not really even guarantee you 1 year of housing. One of my friends transferred to Cal and she wasn't given housing, so that's a huge reason, you guys. That's a huge thing. It's a huge weight off your shoulder to just have your housing figured out your first year that you're there. And then once you're there, then you can get an apartment for your next year and you can go through that whole process, which I had to do too. But since you're already there and you have friends, you have your community, it's much easier to do that rather than trying to find an apartment when you're actually transferring. Okay, the final reason that I chose UCLA over Cal was the location. So I kind of went over that before when I said that I like LA more, but it's also closer to my family and home, which is kind of a big deal for me. So if you're okay with being farther away from your family, then maybe, you know, that would affect your decision. But honestly, really think it through, because even though you think you might be okay being far from your family, once you actually start college, you're probably gonna feel homesick. And let me tell you, when I first started college, being able to hop on a train back home within an hour was extremely helpful because I loved coming home on the weekends. It's just so much easier when you live closer to home, and you know, you're not spending as much money for that commute. So really think it through, because even though you think you might be okay being farther away from your family, you don't really know until you move away. So if this is your first time moving away from your family, that's definitely a huge decision to factor in. And yeah, I went over that I love Southern California, I love LA, and another huge reason is the weather. That's another reason why I love Southern California way more. Yeah, the weather in LA, you guys, it's great. And the location of UCLA is in a very nice part of LA. Literally, as soon as you exit the campus are the gates to Bel Air. It's located in Westwood, which is a really nice area. There's great stores, great shops, great food to eat, great places to go. There's Santa Monica right there. Location is a huge thing to factor in. The area of UCLA is just very safe in general. Berkeley's area, not that safe, you guys. Not safe, no. Okay, so those are basically all of my reasons for why I chose UCLA over Cal. It basically came down to being my dream school, the program that I was going to study, and the location. So those are things that I would factor in when you guys are making your decision. This video is not meant to sway you in any way, although, you know, I am partial to UCLA. Okay, thank you so much for watching this video, guys. I hope it was helpful for some of you who are also trying to make this decision of UCLA or Cal. I hope that the reasons that I chose UCLA helped you, and maybe you can factor in a bunch of those things when making your decision too. So thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you guys next time. Bye! Do you think I look like Edna Mode? I really see it. Or like Lord Farquaad from Shrek. I just look like a bunch of Pixar characters.